Hi there, I'm Jonathan Delbridge, and this is the next video in a series of videos about practicing scales, piano scales. And this is aimed at more advanced students, so by more advanced students I'm referring to pupils, pianists of grades 6, 7, 8 and above. Obviously you can start to use some of the techniques that I've already discussed in the tips for intermediate and beginner pupils, but obviously what we're going to do today is kind of build on those and offer you a few more suggestions. So when you get to the higher grades, your scales are expected to be at a faster tempo, obviously fluent as they were in the previous grades, and you're expected to have a greater knowledge. So from grade 5 onwards you're expected to know all the major minor keys. Grade 6 onward, with the associated board Royal Schools of Music exams, you're expected to be able to perform melodic minors as well as harmonics. You'll be expected to perform scales with the hands a third apart, hands a sixth apart. More complicated scales in contramotion, staccato as well as legato, and all sorts of other things as well, sometimes legato in thirds, and so on. So I'm going to give you a few techniques that might help towards some of these scales, just a few little tips, and I'm sure you'll have ideas of your own you can add to as well. One quite useful technique is to combine practicing scales, similar motion and contramotion. I'll show you on C major scale. What we do, start at the bottom, and first of all we're going to go up 2 octaves, then we go contramotion 2 octaves, back in again, up 2 octaves, down 2 octaves, contramotion, and down. So we end up back where we started. Obviously you can practice the same technique with arpeggios, with chromatic scales as well. As I mentioned in other videos, you can try different rhythms, different dynamics, all those kind of things are quite good. Another idea is to try, as you get onto the more advanced level, try different rhythms and dynamics in each hand. So for example, you could play with the left hand perhaps piano, and the right hand forte, and other way around. Okay. We could also practice staccato in one hand, legato in the other. Different rhythms in each hand, these can be quite fun. So in the left hand maybe dotted rhythm, right hand even. With all of these, only practice them at a speed that you are comfortable at. Never practice them at a speed. If they start to fall to pieces and you make mistakes, you need to slow them down again. So different rhythms in each hand, that's quite a good way of practicing these scales. For 2s against 3s, you can practice starting an octave apart and using a triplet rhythm in the right hand and a quaver rhythm in the left hand, so that you end up 2 octaves apart. That could be quite good. And obviously the other way around, start 2 octaves apart, use the triplets in the left hand, so you end an octave apart. It's quite a good one to practice. Quite good idea as well is to practice them with the hands crossed. And you can cross over or under. All of these, as you build onto the more advanced techniques, will all help with being able to get these scales really confident. And also, the whole aim of these scales is to be able to play your pieces nice and confidently as well. So there's a few ideas. With arpeggios, often the problem is getting the thumb to go under nice and evenly. A common mistake is to get with the thumbs being accented because it's a little bit heavy. To overcome that, you can try playing them an accent in the second or the third note slightly, so. And that kind of thing. Another one of useful technique for practicing scales, start at the bottom of the piano. You could do this with a metronome beat if you want to, and play 2 notes per beat, 2 octaves. So it's quite a steady tempo. Then do 3 notes for the same beat, 3 octaves. So 4 notes, and 5, and so on. You can get up to 6 with certain scales before you run out of space on the piano. So that could be quite a good one to practice as well. So anyway, there's a few ideas. I'm sure you'll have lots of ideas of your own as well, and please do add some comments, add some of the ideas of your own on my blog or on YouTube.